hitting the button.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Catfish Weekly, along with hosts Lyle and Chad. I'm Josh, and tonight, guys, we have an awesome guest with us. We have Mr. Chris of Rigging4Fatties, and I got it right.
Bravo. Good
We
job.
only said it wrong for months, but, you know, we got it going there.
These two said it wrong for months.
I never said it.
I think we can go back. You probably did it, too.
No.
Where's that instant replay file?
We're gonna have to have it, but we're gonna have some fun tonight. We got us a good guest tonight. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk catfishing, have a good old time. But go ahead and hit that thumbs up button now before we get started. That way you don't forget later. So
That's right.
I've been watching Chris's videos for I don't know how long, and I think. Chris, didn't you message me one day about something?
I did.
Yeah.
I was talking about the show and how much I love your guys' show. And I was just talking about how I jumped in one time back in November last year. I listened to one episode and I was like, man, I really like this. I'm going to have to check out all the episodes before I ever go live again.
And I copied that and shared that with these two guys because it was, you know, I get a lot of messages, and some of them are like yours and very, very nice, and I enjoy those. And when I get those, I share them with Chad and Josh. And sometimes I get them where people are upset with me or Dockery or no telling who. Sometimes they're just mad at themselves and they want to vent. And I usually don't share those. I usually keep them myself. But the really good ones, the ones that we enjoy, I never post those unless I contact whoever it is that sent that, because I would never do anything to embarrass them or something they didn't want me to do. But they are very enjoyable when we get them, and you know, I knew these guys would appreciate the fact that you had sent that to me. And of course, at that point, I think I'd left some messages on some of your videos, because the instant I started watching them, I subscribed and watch every one when they come out. I get notified. So, and I get that from a lot of guys that do a lot of videos because I want to see them. And especially where you're on the Missouri River, and man, you've been knocking out some big fish. I mean, some really big fish.
Yeah, he definitely was excited to find somebody else that fishes that lazy river, as most people call it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lazy. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I want to say thank you for that email too. The part where you said that I was your biggest inspiration and the reason for watching Catfish Weekly was just really
I
touching,
didn't see
buddy.
that part of that email.
I didn't see it at all, and it was sent to me.
Oh,
It must have been truncated when it got to me.
maybe I ad-libbed a couple words when I read it.
Maybe.
Okay. Boys, what do you say we say hi to a couple people here?
Let's do that.
All right. Well, we've got first in member Rigging4Fatties, not Flatties. So these guys get it right from now on. We got Pontoon Jody Catfishing. We got Joe Buck 66, Nebraska Wildcats, Bugman 22, TNT Missouri Fishing. We got Mr. Sampy, Lynn from Catfish Fever and Outdoors, member Brian B Catfishing. We got member of the Weekend Angler, Carolina Catfish is also a member. We got Wannabe Outdoors. He's here for MacGyver. Got Mark Barnum, Jose Catfishes South Carolina, Bumpin' Mike Greenwell, Buck Williams, Chunky Pursuits, Crappie Day Fish On, Joe Newman, Creole Catfishing, the lovely Miss Cindy Stokes, Outdoors in Indiana with Dave Scott, got Mr. Whisker Dreams, Goober Time Guide Service. Yep, congratulations to Mr. Greenwell for his great catch over the weekend while I sit there
awesome fish.
struggling.
Yes, he is. Great fish.
We got stand 3, 2 stands fishing. We got Chucky Morgan. I'm sure Miss Annette is in here somewhere. Michael Fox. Size Matters Catfishing. Buckeye Catfishing. Scrolling. There's PJ Kirker. Somebody might know him as the owner of Trophy Cat Outdoors. We had him on a while back, and he's also being represented by Chris's left booby. Big old logo there. I like it.
Wow.
What's wrong with him?
There's a lot wrong with me.
Yeah.
We got River Rat 3030. What's going on, buddy? JG Hill Studio. My pal Tim Molina. Keep scrolling. There's Miss Shirley T.
That was really cute.
We try to ignore Lyle's background.
Oh, really? What about that one?
We got J&S Outdoors, Butterflies and Sunshine, Sean T Outdoors. Wow, there is a lot of nice people in here this evening.
There is.
I think I'm caught up. Hopefully Miss Jody had a nice little nap. Oh, nope, I missed one. Benoit Fishing Outdoors.
Did you get David Smith?
Probably not, but
Dale Hayslip?
probably not.
Shirley T?
I know I got Shirley T. I can't miss the Shirley T.
Okay. There's Stan.
There's 2 stands.
And there's 3 stands.
And stand 3's here too.
All right.
Yeah, Travis just posted that he's one of my good buddies, and that's how we feel every time we've gone out. We always seem to get skunked.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
So, Chris, we've already kind of got out there that you fish probably it's like probably the 4th, ranked number 4 river behind, the mighty Ohio and a couple others. What are you laughing about?
I'm with you, Chad. I'll give you this one. So
Around here, they call stuff like the Ohio River creeks.
Hey, you know what? You wouldn't have water if it wasn't for the Ohio River. Focus.
I don't need the Ohio River. I got lakes all around me.
I need you to focus.
Yeah.
So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Rigging for Fatties. For a long time here, everybody thought it was Rigging for Flatties.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to correct these two. Thankfully, they finally listened to you when you said it. But what part of the Missouri River are you fishing in that big old kayak that you're going to get Lyle out there side by side before long with you in?
We can fish the small creeks.
I don't care if you get Lyle in a kayak.
I want pictures.
I want pictures, video.
Yeah.
I want the whole. I want a full production. But anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Well, I'm a kayak angler and I enjoy it quite a bit. I fished a lot between Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. That's a lot of the areas I really try to hit, and it's a good stretch. I've caught a few.
Yeah, I know the one video we were talking about right before the show. You had me like on edge the entire episode that you had put out there. You caught we'll call it a golly whopper. So how big was that fish? I can't remember how big that was.
I think it was about 48.5 inches. I don't weigh them when I'm out on the kayak. It's all you gotta do is stand
up in the middle of Missouri.
Yeah.
Act like you're surfing.
It was just enough of a challenge just to get back over to the bank there where I was at. So
I remember. If you had to guesstimate, how big do you think it was?
Basing off of that 48.5, I would say between like 40 pounds. That's where
that fish looked way bigger.
Yeah.
I never really tried to put too many numbers on those, when it comes down to the pounds. And unless I'm actually weighing. I don't really try to. I go off the inches. And
Well, how far did that fish pull you in that kayak? I couldn't really tell in the video, but it looked like good little ways.
It was probably about 200 yards.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't, yeah, the video makes it look, you know, a lot more deceiving, but I moved pretty good down distance there. And when I pointed back up, you know, from where I pointed up, that's where I started. It doesn't look that far, but it was, it was a pretty good distance back there. And I was actually a little bit disappointed. I enjoyed the fight and I enjoyed the catch with it, but he pulled me past 3 of my other favorite spots to fish along that stretch that I couldn't get back up to.
Yeah, people are, I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah, 48.5 inches, saying that's at least in the 60s, 60, 65.
Somebody
I was saying,
post his YouTube channel up for us.
yeah, do that.
Yeah, Chris is always getting full.
I know it's in the description, but I'll go ahead and grab it.
Oh, I got you here. Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah, I definitely could see it being up, you know, in the 50s or 60s, but I definitely try not to ever play the guessing game when it comes down to weights with them.
And then I get that. I know it's hard from a kayak. So, do you get in a lot of the online kayak tournaments and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, I do a lot of them. Dan Solcha's, the Fishing Unleashed tournaments.
Okay.
I do a lot of his, and still got a yearly going, trying to get some more fish put on, but they're a lot of fun. I've met a lot of good guys off of doing those tournaments, and I think that's where I enjoy them even more. It's just the talking and chatting with a lot of the guys.
Oh yeah, Dan's a great dude. I like Dan. He's up there with that great Stan 3, who's one of my best friends of all time. And yes, it is too late this week for the bragging board, correct?
It is too late. It is rendered and uploaded, but
you can get it for next
send it to me. We'll get it up for next week. So we've got a big bragging board.
Stan too get some really good fish.
Creo said his 61 was 47 inches. So
man, yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, I was impressed. That's for sure with that fish, and I don't know. The video quality was really good. When we were talking about Lyle's, actually, he had before we'd really had you coming into chats and stuff. I know he had he finds channels all the time and's like, check this guy out, or whatever.
Well, I really appreciate it
for a little bit as well. And that is one video though that I was like on the edge of my seat, like, how in the what is this guy fighting this fish? He's broken loose off of his log that he was anchored up on. It's dragging him down the river. Yeah. He's trying to get to the side. He's fighting this monstrous fish. I loved it, man. If anybody hasn't checked it out, they have to go check that video out. I thought it was really good.
The way he hammered that bait and everything too. I actually tested that log out when I took my brush clips that I use, and I yanked on it and I couldn't get nothing to move it. I'm like, all right, this is pretty good and secure. I feel good about this spot. As soon as he hit it, I just see the log starts floating away, and I'm just like, well, the scenery's changing around me.
Want to be outdoors says, what are Chris's go-to rigs to use?
I like to use a Santee Cooper. It's usually my favorite setup is a Santee Cooper.
I love Santee Cooper rigs.
Have some kitty calls. I like using them. They're a pretty good go-to. And then bait-wise, I like to use shad in the spring and shad in the late fall, winter times here, but common carp all the rest
Common
of the
carp,
time.
really.
Oh yeah.
How come everybody else has luck with common carp except for me?
Well,
I had never had any luck with it, and then Parker Pursuits turned me on to it, made a believer out of me on it. So
it's so bloody. It
in
really.
the summertime, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do anything like special before you cut it up and chunk it, or I've heard people like beating it to death and all kinds of different stuff, and I'm like,
I'm pretty big on, dispatching them pretty quickly,
yeah,
but then I'll bleed them out and chop them up after they bled out pretty good, and just letting them sit, overnight in their own blood. That's been my go-to. It's worked very, very well. If I catch them fresh and chop them up right away, I haven't had as much luck. But when I let them sit in their own blood for a while, they work.
I mean
very
that's what
well.
it is. Because
Get that
usually
blood all up in that meat.
Yep.
With Asian carp, we kept the tenderloin out of them, and then drain whatever fluids run out of the body into the bag, and then put the tenderloins in there with it, seal it up.
Yeah, Asian carp, I usually cut their tail off and bleed them down into a bag or a bucket.
Whatever you got to do to get it out.
Then you
And it's not just blood. I take it all. Any fluid.
Yep.
That must be what
I haven't had as much luck with that Asian carp though. It's been I never understood why.
I used to think that Asian carp only worked in the summertime because we never, for some reason, never did catch anything on it when the weather started getting cold. But now that it's become a natural food source for catfish in all of the rivers that is exposed to that monstrosity, that they eat them year round. And there's been a lot of studies done in Southern Illinois University, done one of the most extensive studies that I know of about Asian carp. And the information that they got and shared is fabulous. I mean, them girls and guys done a bang up job with that. And I will use them year round now, anytime that I've got them. But it's like everything else. I only use them in waters where they're at. And let's face it, common carp are everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny Stone, welcome, buddy.
Danny said Asian carp, just throw them on the bank in the winter. You use them over and over. He said Thursday when we were live that it was just about zombie carp season. So,
Danny, I can't.
Creole, that's about the best way to catch one right there.
Yeah, Dockery and his daughter goes out and snags them every year at a place up there by them. I don't know where it's at, don't care. Hell, all I got to do is put the boat in the water, and if I'm in Asian carp, they'll jump in with you. It ain't no problem.
I'm glad we're not to that point yet. We have them in our area, but we haven't.
No, they're thick down here, so.
Yeah, we don't have that problem where they jump out of the water into your boat or anything like that yet.
I've had lots of trips out where I've actually had the struggle on getting bait, so try to go into a group of Asian carp knowing they'll always jump. And right when I need bait, I can't ever get them to jump, but when I don't want them around, they're always jumping.
Oh, they're everywhere. Matt says, go to Kentucky Dam and walk the bank. You'll get enough Asian carp. That's the truth.
I'm sure that's right. Hey, Mark, welcome.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
God, I can't imagine one being in a boat and having them jump at me, but you in that kayak, man, you're making me nervous right now.
I've seen them jump and hit people in the boat, and I could not imagine being hit with one, but sitting on top of a kayak. Well,
I got to ask Chris, because we were talking about before the show, and it makes safety is a big thing. We always try to talk about. So being out there, especially on the Missouri River, what is your number one or list of top safety things you are trying to do and make sure of on that river? Because most of these guys if they're going out on a kayak on a river, it's really like the Ohio River where it's a lake, there's not a lot of current or stuff like that. But the people that hit that Missouri and the Mississippi, y'all crazy, but you got to have some safety things in mind. But go ahead.
Life jacket. That is by far always wear that PFW. You know, that's always the number one for me, and I talk about that with everybody. You know, it doesn't matter what body water you're on, a life jacket always on. And then letting everybody know where I'm at or where I'm going. You know, my wife knows where I'm at. She actually drops me off at a lot of my drop-in spots and then picks me up, but just constantly keeping her updated or keeping a friend updated, you know, where I'm at currently on the river. That is by far another one of my biggest ones, because
it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're having some comments about the Asian carp and how bad they are in the Missouri River. If you think they are bad in the Missouri and the Mississippi River, take your shot up the Illinois sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've heard.
They're a lot worse there than any place I've ever been. It is loaded with it.
That's that last line of defense, too, before they get into the Great Lakes. They are spending millions of dollars to keep them out of the Great Lakes. So.
Excuse me.
If they'd have spent that kind of money when they first got released in Mississippi, maybe they wouldn't have got this far. Hi, Mike Irwin.
Just coming back to the boat ramp, I was coming up Little Pigeon Creek. I had 10 or 12 pounder come up out of the water and slap me on the side of the head, about knocked him right out of his boat.
We've
Lord
had,
have mercy.
on the enclosure on my boat, Cindy and I was on the Illinois River and had a 30-pounder on the top of that, and I could stand up in it, and it's a foot over my head, and they was jumping that high.
So they got about 5 feet off the top of the boat there?
I was thinking 3.
Well,
You got solo for doing it.
yeah, I was trying to get rid of him, missed it.
Oh, I thought you were going to look at my birthday present that I got a couple days early.
Is it your birthday? Open that up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, I'm
100-year anniversary model. Them are nice.
I'm not allowed to open it for another week and a half, but
Oh, okay.
I just want to let you know that I got it and it's right here. That's what I was saying there, Creole. So that things are able to, you know, that would hit most of us. If it's going to hit Lyle in the head, it'd probably hit the rest of us in the kneecap. But
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Danny Stone said they put kayaks into Mississippi earlier this year and stayed close to the bank. He said he doesn't have the confidence or experience to get out there very far. That's the truth.
I don't blame him.
I have never once even thought about taking my kayak out onto the river. So that's
Yeah.
I mean, all of
I
what you do,
remember
especially going out on the Missouri.
Danny and I believe, is it his nephew? They went out to that island.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
No.
I'm surprised we don't see Parker Pursuits doing it just because Jerry's crazy and does stuff like that.
He is crazy.
I'm very big on following that channel swing, so crossing back and forth, it's a constant.
Do you fish those channel swings?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
They're a great place.
Yep, those are some of my favorite places is
You betcha.
on that channel swing, and yep.
They're moving from one side to the other side. They need a highway, and that's it.
Yep.
What
just-
made you do that the first time? Put a kayak on the Missouri River.
Well, I fished in small rivers for years, but you know, with these droughts and everything else going on, it's been harder and harder. And I went out with guys, you know, on their boats and always had a good time out with them. Got way more fish. There's way more fish out in Missouri. So I thought about, you know, putting in and trying a small little stretch and just see how it goes. And, you know, just having an understanding of the river. That's, you know, you have a good little understanding of it, but I mean, that river's still no joke. You know, you can never be too confident on it. So
That's right. Even on the boat.
oh yeah.
That girl gets respect because she earns it. It's it's a severe current river. That's all there is. Even now with the water low, it's still probably got more current than any other river in the United States.
Wouldn't
I
doubt
can't think of any that's got more.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Ohio is pretty mighty. We had 1.8
You
miles an
stop.
hour over the weekend.
The Ohio.
There's Freddie, FOA Custom here. Hello, Freddie.
I
What's
do
up,
like
Freddie?
fishing the Ohio, but it'd be nice if it ever had current.
I know out of my kayak, it's pretty good on tracking that speed. And I think the slowest I've ever just free floated was about 4.2.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, do you launch up and then get picked up at a lower one? Because I can't
Yeah.
imagine trying to go back up that
upstream.
current.
Yeah, no.
Now there's no going back up. Even with my trolling motor, there's no going back up. It's too many points. You know, you get into some of those backwaters, you can move around in there, but getting out on the main river, there's no moving back up in my kayak.
No.
Just like I said, when that last one in my video, when he pulled me past 3 of my favorite spots, you know, I was a little disappointed I couldn't get back up.
And it'll be there next time.
Yeah. So, because I can't remember, did you have to cross river or did you get to the bank with him on the same side as when you?
I went on the same side. I wanted to get him up and taken care of as quickly as possible. So,
All right.
Now, what kind of kayak are you running? What brand?
I got a new canoe.
New canoe?
Yeah, that Frontier 12.
That's
Is that
fun.
the longest kayak they make? Is 12 foot?
No, the Unlimited I think is a little bit longer.
But they're not like 16 foot or nothing like that.
No. No,
I
8
think
foot
we've seen
wide.
it.
I think the Unlimited is like
It's
12
Gama,
foot
I
each
think.
or-
I thought I've heard of a 14-foot before.
Yeah, I've seen a 13 or a 14, but it's a two-person kayak was the one that I saw. But
That might be what the Unlimited is. I'm not sure of the length on it.
we looked at the Frontier 12 a few years ago at CatCon. That's an awesome kayak.
I wanted that wide base. You know, and
I would
Catfish and
definitely
trying to
want that
pull
one.
them in, I need it, especially as a big guy like me too. So
I would
Neither,
definitely
I
want
left
the
you a
widest
message.
one.
Chad, we should get a two-person kayak and we'll just like strap Lyle to the back of it.
No, you won't.
Yeah. We could do we got to build one. So you're the MacGyver. This is hey, I'm the brain. So listen.
Now
To
you
me.
start building a three-person
Yeah.
kayak. They already
Three-person
exist.
kayak.
It's called a canoe.
It's going to be it's going to look like a trike, like a So
Oh,
we'll put Lyle in the middle. He'll be the
No,
one that
no,
like,
you won't.
keeps the
Yeah.
the kayaks together, and then we'll have our seats back here.
That's like getting me on ice. You're not going to get me ice fishing either. So,
oh no.
Dieter, I left you a message. You need to check your messages and get a hold of it.
So Chris, how safe are you on your kayak? We got to talk Lyle into getting on one of these.
You ain't gonna do it.
Nobody's asking you. Hey, look, this is my time. So let's go through how safe you really are, and that you're really catching more and bigger fish because of the kayak and the stealthiness. You know, because Lyle has issues where he can't catch fish. You know,
Really?
Cindy can. Lyle can't. And we really think the aerobics of having a kayak would.
Yeah.
It's so much quieter. He's in the basement.
I don't know. I think Lyle could pull the kayak thing off. I've seen that picture of him with the downward dog.
What's wrong with you?
Oh,
There's something wrong with you two.
I couldn't resist.
Sean, I don't need no booster seat. It just has to be padded. I got to have a padded seat, and it needs to have a back brace in it, so my back don't hurt, and a headrest would be great.
they make some pretty nice seats for them.
Now, is yours ones that sets up, or do you set down in yours?
Mine's a sit on top.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think that's the only way I would ever try to be.
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck
Yeah.
down in one.
Yeah,
of
those
them.
are sit-in ones.
No, between the muscle cramps and stuff, that'd be the first thing to kick in right in the middle of the river.
Oh, that seat on mine is I swear it's a torture device. You're good for about 30 minutes, and you're starting to scoot around and try to find a comfortable position that there isn't.
Down in it? Is yours the down in it?
No, mine's a sit on top, but it's got this foam seat that's all of about a half-inch thick, and it's not elevated.
Yeah, that wouldn't work with me. I need padding.
Flat.
You know, us full-figured guys got padded seats. That's all there is to it. TNT Missouri Fishing says yours is 30 inches, 36 wide.
I think they're 48 inches.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're 48 inches wide.
That's 4 foot wide. Wow.
It might be the 36. I've never actually measured it.
I want to need those measurements because that'd be
It is wide.
really wide. I'd feel stable on that, and I think I was talking to somebody. It's probably been maybe in the last year or so. They were talking about those new canoes, because there's several different brands that people talk about. The Jacksons and then the new canoes. I was looking those up, but that's what they were saying is how wide and stable those new canoes are, that I would feel comfortable in it. And I was like,
Who was it did a cartwheel from one end to the other one of those? It was somebody did.
Was that Kayak Mike or somebody? It had to be somebody tiny.
I don't remember who it was.
Chris, come on. Have you ever done the Chris Farley on yours?
It definitely wasn't me. I'm 6'2", so I'll stand on mine, but that's about as far as I go.
Oof. Y'all make me nervous.
They're pretty stable. I feel pretty comfortable on it.
Well, that's what you got to do. Matt says after a day on his kayak, he can't get out of it. It takes him 20 minutes to stand. You see, right there is a definite turnoff for me. That's one thing about a boat. If you get stiff or something, you walk around a little bit.
Walk around, yep.
Yeah.
Well, right here, sounds to me like I got a date. Me and Ryan Bortz are gonna be taking his out.
I was gonna say those seats in that new canoe, you set up pretty high to the point where you don't really feel too much of that fatigue or anything. I feel pretty good on it. Right. I've been on buddies' boats that I felt more tired, legs hurting a little bit more than I have in my kayak. So
yeah, they make some like that. Ryan Bortz, if you get him in that kayak with you, please have the video camera. We all want to see that.
Just note, Ryan, that you can bow to your king, sir. I call Ryan Bortz second place. He knows why. Man. Don V. Fishing. Well, good afternoon and evening.
There's Sonny Park.
Ryan said he can do cartwheels right into the river on his.
Oh, man. That's saying something right there because he's a big guy.
Oh, here we go.
I think Ryan's taller than you, isn't he, Josh?
What's that?
I think Ryan's taller than you, isn't he?
I think he is, or if not, he's very, very close.
I was saying, I'm thinking.
Ryan, how tall are you, buddy?
6'11".
I know you're.
Yeah, you're like 6'5".
I'm 6'4". I thought Ryan was like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, he's way up there.
That's all right. Chad went down to the
6'5". Okay.
6'5". All right. Pretty close.
Chad went down to the Chattanooga, and he was 6'9", so Chad knocked him down a peg or two down in Chattanooga, let him know where he stood. But anyway, back to Chris. About Chris, not Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's got a very nice setup. How he customizes and sets his up is. I love his kayaks.
So tell us about your setup, though.
My setup?
Yeah.
I actually MacGyvered mine. Mine's
You already noticed you got a trolling motor and stuff on it, so run us through.
yeah,
what
I
you
got that
in there.
basic Walmart special right on the back of it, but I actually put that on the back there for a reason when I'm out in the Missouri there. And then I just took some clothesline wire and ran it down to some pedals to steer it, and it does the
Oh,
job.
that's cool.
It's very crazy looking setup, but
Have you have to reach back for your throttle adjustment, or have you got a remote throttle or something on that?
I got a PWM I installed in it.
A what?
Pulse width modulator.
Yeah. I built
alerts. Go ahead.
Yep.
I built a box so I could have it sitting right next to my seat and control everything right off from that.
There you go.
That's cool.
Putting that trolling motor on the back there, it helps me on Missouri though. Gives a little bit of drag and it keeps my front end going down straight. I don't usually have it running when I'm going down the river. It's just when I'm trying to get to certain little spots or get to the sides, or if I see a barge coming, get out of the way quick.
Yeah.
How big a trolling motor is it?
I think it was just that Endura 30.
Yeah, for a kayak though. I mean, I know Ryan's probably got like the 115 now, that the new one that just came out, not the 112. He had to upgrade.
36 volt, yeah.
Yeah, but I would think that still would probably move you pretty good on a kayak, a 30-pound thrust, because I had the 55-pound thrust on my old boat that I had, and it moved it pretty decent. So I can imagine it does the kayak pretty well.
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
Mike. Welcome.
Well, I load up my kayak because when I go out, I'm out all weekend long. So I got all my gear and everything else. Plus, I'm a big guy, so it moves me around. But I'm not looking for the speed. I'm just looking for that little edge, just to get to
you're on the
side
Missouri River. You don't need speed. You've got 20-mile-an-hour current to get you there.
Yeah.
So it's more, like you said, keeping your boat straight and moving out of the way.
Looks like we had a little drama in chat. It's been handled. So
Okay.
we had some pay lake talk going on. So
I missed it.
I missed it too. So yeah. Bye-bye.
goodbye.
Yeah, we don't need none of that.
No, we don't support that.
All right, back to Happy Talks. It's
Yep.
going. Let's see here. So what other kind of equipment you got going on there, Chris?
I got my fish finder on there, and then I got my rod holders. I got the fish bite rod holders.
Okay.
I got steel plates holding them in place because those blues, when they hit, they can rip everything off. And first time I ever went out, I actually just had some pretty basic, like the Walmart rod holders.
Done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That didn't work out
Just-
very well.
didn't mount them great, and I watched the rod and everything go bye bye.
Ouch. Wow.
So you're running trolling motor, fish finder, everything. What size battery you running on your kayak?
Oh, I got 250 amp hour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the lithium 50 amp hours.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Those hardly weigh anything either. So
Yeah, I honestly only probably need the one, but
That's,
you know you're never going to hurt yourself having two of them, especially out there on that river.
oh,
So
no.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weight is one of the biggest things that you have to be careful with, isn't it?
Yeah, I got to watch the weight, but having those batteries, I like to put them at the front. It actually keeps that front down and sitting down front, the waves, and it tracks better.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah. Welcome down along.
So you probably run one for your trolling motor, and then just have the other one kind of as a backup and run electronics and stuff off of it or something.
Yeah, I got the one for the trolling motor, and then everything else is ran off the other one.
Okay. Lyle, what else in his videos have you noticed that you really like? It's aspire to be like him as a kayaker.
I like Sonny Parker's comment. He said, "Fishing for blues in a kayak's like fishing for sharks in inner tube."
I'm thinking you're probably.
I think Sonny's probably spot on right there.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Sonny's familiar with some of the areas
Massive
that
blue
Chris fishes.
in a kayak. So
Yeah, they've taken me around for a ride a few times, so I could see that.
That's got to be fun though. So
It's fun. It's also very scary.
You, what kind of anchor do you have in your boat or in your kayak?
I just use anchor poles. I don't ever drop an anchor.
You don't ever drop them.
No, not in the
You got
river.
the clip things. Is that what it is that you're talking about?
Yeah, like those clips and drop down anchors. I just use like a pole that I'll put in the ground on the side. Just a straight pole.
And shallow water anchor.
I'm sorry?
Shallow water anchor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have those in my boat actually, but mine are 16 foot long or 12 foot long. But I didn't know. I was going to say them clips that you put around trees and limbs and stuff like that. I've actually held really big boats with those.
Oh yeah.
In heavy current, they work really well. I'm surprised you don't use those.
I do have the brush clips.
I often wondered how come you was if you stopped, you was always next to the bank. And I assumed that you was just looking for a ledge.
I do fish a lot of those ledges and look for those ledges, but yeah, it's just getting up on that bank and putting the anchor pole out. But I use a lot of brush clips too. I look for a lot of those logs that are out in the middle, following the channel. And I'll brush clip on them. It's just more of a challenge in the kayak and getting slowed down to actually be able to get on them.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's what I was kind of
scary
wondering.
About. Yeah, Creel says he would imagine a log getting hung up in a kayak's anchor rope could turn into a deadly situation.
Oh, quick.
Well, I mean, but I was even thinking about with those clips that we were talking about. I think you would really have to make sure that is a solid. Solid structure that's not going to be moving to clip off of.
Well, like I was saying with that one that took me for a ride and everything, I tested it. I yanked on everything and it looked like it was pretty solid. And that blue just hammered everything, and I was going. I think it was more about the kayak. The front end actually went down, so it just kind of lifted that back end. And as soon as it did that, I think it just popped those branches and that log and me and everything was moving at that point.
It was Sonny and Parker and Cindy and I fished a tournament on the Missouri River. No, it's been several years ago now. I believe I'm not sure if we was in a monster cat or in that little craft, but whatever one it was, we used one of those clips to clip onto some structure on the Missouri River and some 7-strand paracord, and that held that big boat in position while we sat there anchored up in current on the Missouri River. And I don't remember which boat it was, but that was several years ago. And I got to tell you, not to change the subject or anything, but Sonny and I had the pleasure of fishing that tournament with Sonny, and you won't be in a boat with anybody that's any more fun than Sonny Parker. Never complained about it being cold. My God, it was cold. And we had such a great time with him, and probably need to do that again one day, but it was a blast.
Does Sonny Parker still fish?
When he's not fixing his house.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I don't know if we've seen this one here, but Dee was asking, what's your bucket list fish and your bucket list location to fish?
I had a alligator gar. I've always wanted to catch an alligator gar.
Out of a kayak?
Out of the kayak.
Oh man,
Oh
Yeah.
god.
What is wrong with you?
that'd be awesome.
Just they look like all I can picture him is him standing up like a surfboard holding that rod. Going down the freaking lake.
I know those alligator guard that are as long as that kayak. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, any fish I would name off, every one of them, I would still say off the kayak, though.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
The way they fight, and then those sturgeon out in, I think it's Idaho, or I'm trying to think of,
Those white sturgeon up there.
yes, the white sturgeon.
Them real big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Don't
you're
say
you're,
that now.
you're saying the magic word for stand now. So
I
You're
know.
going to be talking about an 8-footer if you go out west.
That's a trip that the wife wants to make so bad.
Yeah, that'd be a dream trip. I've always wanted to go after one of them.
Yeah, if
Long
ever
Beach
anything,
wondered about shark on your bucket list.
I've never thought about it. I've never thought about ocean or fishing out of the kayak or any of that. I've actually never thought about any of that.
Just go down there and fish with Creole when the bull sharks are running.
Bull sharks run.
Yeah, he'll put you on one. He'll just let you. I guess maybe hook up to his boat while he's out there, and then when you catch into one of them bull sharks, he'll just,
Cut you loose.
and let you go down the river with them.
Creole's like Quint on Jaws. You want a shark, you go see Creole.
That's right. Ryan Board said, "Same, Chris. Let's plan a trip to Texas." Looks like Ryan's in
Yeah.
for an alligator guard trip with you.
Guerrero Bagra has joined us. Hey, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. We had a question. Let me try to find it now. TNT Missouri Fishing asked if you'd talk a little bit about your rigs when you're dragging.
My rigs when I'm dragging, I still try to do the Sandy Cooper. That's usually my setup. I just put on dragging weights at that point. All my setups, I don't like using any of those sinker slides. So all my weights are just clipped right off on my swivels. When I'm casting out in the kayak, it makes it very hard for those sinker sides to actually get a good cast. So I clip everything right off on my swivel. 2-foot leaders right up to one basic swivel and clip off right there. Do the same with the dragging weights.
You're not dragging to Missouri, right?
I have a couple of the backwater areas
Okay.
I've dragged, but
I was gonna say, what do you just like dragging them out the back and going wee down the river? And once your kayak goes, ugh, it's either a fish or a snag. Okay.
I've had enough in those backwater areas snagging up that I'm never going to do it on a
Yeah. People that's never been to the Missouri River, until you experience it, you really don't know what's going on there. I mean, we can talk about it, and I people message me after we do shows, and we talk about how strong the current is in Missouri River, and why? I said, well, there's no dams in it from South Dakota till it turns into the Mississippi. I mean, it's free flowing. There's nothing to slow it down. And now that they've stopped maintaining any of the wing dikes in it, it's just like the wild woolly. It's and they're not ever going to fix those wing dikes once they go bad. They're just going to let them go because there's not enough barge traffic on it anymore for them to spend the kind of money it takes to maintain those dikes. So it'll go back to the way it used to be. And the only thing I can see that would make that better is if they cut them dams out up north. And I know them people want their water, but I don't really give a damn. They hold that water up, and then every year we get flooded like crazy because they're holding it back all winter. And that's a bunch of crap. And the Corps of Engineers should stop doing that.
Sonny Parker has a question of the day right here. He said, how in the heck do you stand up and relieve yourself on a kayak without falling out? So,
Well, that's a great question.
I mean,
sir.
that's the the question of the day right there.
That's a great question.
TNT Missouri, so that's what scupper holes are for.
Pick a good time when you go to the bank. That's what I say.
There we go.
Pick a good time.
Do you use sandbars and stuff to your advantage when you need to get out and stretch your legs or anything?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll get out on them and the wing dikes, and I'll get out and step out on them.
Do you like fishing behind wing dikes?
Not really.
Really?
No, in the kayak and how I be casting out, I actually can't get a great angle, and I can't sit right. You know, where you can find, yeah, it's just, I like to look for a lot of those hard cut banks and fish more of them.
Wow, Nathan
Yeah, I see that.
says, yeah, they're rebuilding the dikes in the St. Charles and Washington, Missouri areas.
About 5 years ago, they said they were going to never rebuild them again. I see that's something else the Corps of Engineers told us that wasn't true.
Yeah, I was gonna say they actually just rebuilt all the ones up here.
Wow.
There's only a few that, you know.
They must be getting more barge traffic, or they just, like they do every year about duck season. They say they're going to leave the water in there so you can get around duck hunting, and they lie about it every year.
There he is, right there.
Hey,
hi,
buddy.
Santa Claus. Tell Santa Claus hi.
Now I actually, Missouri, I actually had a guy hit me up today on TikTok Messenger and talked about, he's seen some of my videos and talked about going on the Missouri in his kayak. And first thing I asked him is, well, what kind do you have? And he told me he had one of those little Pelicans. I was just, no. I told him, I make it look a lot easier than it is. It's definitely a very dangerous river, and
it is. It is.
That's why I put that warning at the beginning of the one video, because I just wanted people to know that it is dangerous, and understand and know your rivers or body of water you're fishing. Just having that understanding is the most crucial part.
Nathan says the barge traffic's picked back up. Yeah, it probably never will be like it was in the old days. Jeff City still has some barge traffic, but most of that's sand. And but yeah, it's not. I don't think it'll ever be on the Missouri what it once was, because now they're hauling all the grain stuff by trains.
What's everybody's thought on the barge bite, real or fake?
I can't answer that one. When I see a barge, I run to the shore quick.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do. I don't know. I've had them. I've had fish about rip my rod out of my hands when I'm bumping and barge goes past, but I've drifted and they've gone past and not got a single bite. So
yeah, but I also think too it's a lot of times how far away are they from you?
Yeah. I was out hunting with my buddy George the one time, and he hooked into a pretty good one. We had a long stretch there with nothing till that barge went by.
I don't think it ever hurt you. I think it can only help. So
I agree. Sonny says, always respect the Missouri River. If you lose respect, it will take you. That is 100% fact.
Mikey's got a good theory. He said fish have to be in the channel. If the fish are in the channel, the barge drives them out and they run into the bait.
Oh, what's he know? He catches small fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an 80-pound sticker going to him that's in the mail right now to breathe differently.
That fish was 79.99 tops.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Let me pick on him. Bunch of jerks. You guys are anyway. Go ahead.
You caught an 80-pounder?
I got an 82.
I caught my back of my shirt one time. Does that count?
Yeah. You say you caught an 82, Chris?
I got an 82.
That's a great
Oh
fish.
man,
That was my biggest. I actually couldn't pull that one up in the kayak. I had to hold him from the side and let him thrash me up pretty good just to get him
I'll
over the
bet.
bank.
I'll bet. That's when you're looking for that gravel bar, sand bar.
Yep. I was actually very happy I was close to one at that point.
Yeah, that's great. I know some guys that caught a 106 down the St. Louis area one day, and they took a 1/4-inch rope and just put a small hole around his right underneath his bottom jaw, and that's how they maintained it that way. Worked out really well. The fish was kept all day, weighed in the tournament, and then released alive. And they took it right back out where they caught it and released it. So no harm, no foul. But there's a lot of ways to do it. We're now to the point where most catfishing boats for tournaments have a quality live well, and I've always said for years that these tournament directors, and most of them we're not going to go there, should make sure in the rules that they check every boat, and if it doesn't have a quality live well, there you go. I stopped.
Reeling you in.
I could go on with that, but they should have in their rules that they're going to check every boat to make sure that there is a live well big enough to hold 3 fish of whatever size is in that area. I think that should be in the rules of every tournament. That's bigger than an 80-pounder, Chad.
I agree, Ryan. Chad, make a poll.
Sonny Parker.
Well, I'd say the nice thing about being a kayak on the Missouri there is there's a lot of areas out there that you cannot get to in a boat that you can only get to in that kayak. And my double up video, that's one of those areas. It's only 6 inches deep leading into that area where I got my big double up. But once I got back in there, it's just big old structure just everywhere, just loaded up, and that's one of my favorite spots to go out in.
Do you prefer to fish shallow water or deeper water?
I like finding that deep hole, but I prefer to sit up, a little bit shallower area.
Thought you weren't supposed to open that yet.
I lied.
Yeah, pretty nice. Those are nice.
No
Happy
BS. That
birthday
rigging
to
to come
me.
over here to the bar and catch some fatties. He's referring to Watts Bar. So
Send it to me, Sonny. I'll watch it for sure. Oh my God. What is wrong with you, Mike?
I love bumping Mike Green. You know why? You know why I'm his hero? Look at the nickname I gave him. Bumping Mike. He's been known as one of the bumping kings, the bumping king, for years now, all thanks to me.
Mark Barnum wants to know how far upstream you fish the Missouri.
How far upstream? I'm always going downstream.
You can't paddle upstream in that kayak.
No.
No, I think he means like how far up on the Missouri do you start? Like, is it up by the middle of Iowa, or is it up by South Dakota? He's trying to get your fishing spots, is what he's doing.
Yeah, that's
He's
where
like Lyle.
kind of thinking he was going with that. I fish between Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri.
So his spot is geo-coded within those 4 states. So I'll help you.
I've actually fished 3 of the states in one weekend. So
I'm good. I'm good with Google Earth, Mark. We'll figure this out.
Kansas was not good to me earlier this year. I tried my hand at some Kansas fishing. It didn't happen. So,
And it's a good lake.
I'm going back. It got the better of me one time. I've got to go back now. So,
Yeah,
Which lake was that?
that was Milford Lake over in Kansas. But the water was really low, and the local there, bank fishing, told me, he's like, well, if you had a boat, you'd be catching fish. He goes, but there's nobody catching fish from the bank right now. I said, okay.
Yeah.
He might have just want me to leave, but
That could be. But probably not.
That was the same luck I had out Milford.
TNT Mo Fishing says, I know the
$50.
locations, $50 a spot. He's selling your locations.
Hey, if you can guarantee fish like he's been catching, it'd be worth $50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. You definitely catch some great fish.
Honey, I will definitely let you know when I head that way. I will definitely let you know when I'm headed to Milford.
So, Chris, what's on the horizon for you, my friend?
Upgrading equipment and looking for bigger, better places.
Well,
I'm looking forward to the channel growing, and I'm going to get rid of the head camera. That's I got a lot of people. I got a lot of people that comment and tell me how I make them dizzy, and
Well, if you need
I just like all the angles I got.
I know a guy that'll sell you some more spot fishing spots, $50 a piece. So if you need any more locations.
Brian B says Chad is his hero, D is his BFF. I'm his virtual mechanic, and Lyle is the person who makes my kids happy every Christmas morning. So
yeah, I definitely hope to get out there, and I was planning on going to the Missouri over the summer, but both of my plans did not work out while I was out west. So
yeah, but now you got a boat that is actually would be safe out there. So
oh yeah, and you wait until I get the air conditioning put in my boat next summer. Lyle, he'll have no excuse to not go out there with me.
Oh, dude.
I don't have
to visit me. It was 100 and some degrees every day you was here.
Hey,
holy crap!
It doesn't matter if you got air conditioning. I'm just saying.
Chad, I don't.
No, if you got air conditioning, it does not matter.
And Lyle's been on my boat, so what's that tell you?
I already knew Lyle liked you more. I'm not even in top 10 son. Whatever. Yeah, let's quit turning this on other people like me, and let's keep it about Chris. God,
is Chris
watching Panfish Nation here before long? We'll be talking about turkey bacon or something.
Read this while you're talking.
Is Chris fishing the Fishing Unleashed tourney next month?
I am not. I am done for this year. I'll be looking to get back in March. I'm sorry?
I was just going because obviously I kind of know the answer, but why is that? It's not that you're in the upper Midwest where it's already snowing and all that kind of stuff. So I can imagine. I know that stretch of the river it usually freezes up north of you, right, or right around it.
Yeah, it's freezing up. It's getting colder up here, and it's harder to get out and actually get on them. So
now you
can still get on them, but it's a lot harder. And
Lake Ozark, Truman, and all the lakes around me, you're pretty much open to them year round.
And then Lyle only fishes May to June.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Just wait till he gets that kayak that Cindy's buying him for Christmas.
Yeah.
He'll be all over. You got Chris. You and Lyle will be, using them little clips to clip onto each other as you go drifting down the Missouri together.
No.
And I'm sure he could probably stand up and help you weigh those fish instead of just getting the measurements. That way we know that fish was at least 65 pounds.
Well, if we get those clips, that'd be that pontoon that I was talking about.
Rare occasion The rare occasion that you might accidentally see me sit in a kayak on dry land, I'm not standing up in it.
I know for a fact that Lyle has been eyeballing this beautiful red pontoon at Bass Pro
That's
Shop
not
for
true.
at least 4 months.
That's
Yep,
not
that is
true. It is
I have
not.
photos of him with it.
Chris, Ryan Bortz would like to know if you're going to be at CatCon this year. So
I'm not. I won't be at CatCon.
uh,
I always wanted to go, but I won't be out there.
yeah, it's going to be here before we know it, I believe.
Yeah.
2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, about 3 months now. This year's gotten away from us in a hurry.
Yeah, this year went by pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
Did you get that no BS catfishing to ask Chris, what kind of hooks do you use?
I use the Trophy Cat, the switchbacks, circle hooks. That's my go-to every time. As soon as I got brought onto that team with Trophy Cat, you know, it's everything about with that equipment. I love the rods, reels, everything, hooks, kitty calls. But it's the team that I actually really care for the most. It's more like a family than just being sponsored.
Yeah. It's good to work with good people. I wish I could find some, like a show. I do 2 shows a week with 4 different dudes, and I don't like any of them. They're all jerks.
You do 2 shows a week? Huh. Learn
You
something.
know
every day.
what? Right there. FTWB.
I know what that means, and it does not mean fields to water.
I can't say it. Fields to water, fish to win, and F the weekend angler. You asked for it.
Next time I see Chad, he'll have an A on the end of that shirt. So
I'll do the anarchy symbol too, just so we can, because you know that's definitely for you, my pal.
Oh,
wow.
I do. I like PJ. I was actually chatting with him yesterday. He's a good dude, and I like what he's doing over there. He's not just about himself either, and he's pushing other small businesses like himself. And I told him I really admire that about him. He's a good dude.
Yeah, it's a total family feel there. You know, everybody there that's all sponsored in the group. We all have a little side chat group that we all talk all the time. You know, and everybody's always supporting everybody, and I love it. I love being part of their team.
You know, I started a group chat with Catfish Weekly with myself and Chad and Josh in it. They won't let me back in it no more.
No. If I want, the only time, yeah, every time I ask about ideas, all I get is freaking St. Louis Cardinals post. I got tired of listening to your,
What's your point?
Bud Light Stadium crap.
What's your point?
Get out of here.
And Dee wants to know what the common thing with both those shows are, Chad. She said she finds all those co-hosts to be awesome.
Well, thank you, Dee.
Well, I did choose all 4 of them, so. Anyway. All right, rigging for fatties, not flatties. But why don't you target flathead at all, by the way? I mean, we've talked a little bit about your blue cats. Come on, what?
I do. I go after the flatheads. Honestly, a lot of the places that I fish, they look like great flathead spots, and I get nothing but blues out of them. And every target spot that I look at that I figured would be a really good spot for blues, I've got flatheads. I just can't get them on. Just can't get them on video. I thought that camera was cursed for the longest time. That's why I did the video with my boys where it was 3rd time's the charm. It was just carp fishing. I can usually go out carp fishing and catch about 2 or 3 in an hour. I have no problem. And I started figuring that camera was cursed when it took us 3 days to finally catch one and break the curse.
When you go flathead fishing with carp, are you using them live or use them as cut bait?
I use them live. And then bluegills as well. I use bluegills to go after them.
How big?
Bluegills, I like to go after, the 6 to 7 inch bluegills. The carp, I like the 10 to 12 inch.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Sonny, have a good night at work. I'll get with you on the Milford thing. When we finally do head out that way, I will definitely let you know.
The majority of the flatheads I've actually caught, though, has been on cut carp. I've caught more flatheads on cut carp than I have on live.
Yeah, I've told this before. I went my whole life and never caught a flathead on cut bait. And Cindy and I was on the Illinois River over by Peoria. We fished a tournament over and I caught 7 on cut bait that night. 7 flatheads. None of them of any size, but I caught them. And I have yet to catch one on cut bait since.
Really? See, I've always thought that's weird because
you can throw out a live bluegill and wear them out.
I have caught the majority of my flathead with cut bait.
I haven't caught
and I hear that all the time.
Majority of them have been on cut bait.
Yeah, it doesn't work out for me that way. Maybe it's the area that I fish or the structure I'm fishing, but you can put a hand-sized bluegill in there, and if there's one in there, it won't be very long.
I said that, but my only decent one has been on a live bluegill. So
yeah, and I can't find a place around me that I can consistently get bullhead, or that's what I use.
I've never caught a flathead off a bullhead.
I believe that flatheads will kill bullhead just to kill them because they don't like them for whatever reason, and they'll eat them, man. They'll just crush them.
I tell you what, I know you're not supposed to do it, but I'd love those bullhead that we were catching up there at Mendota. I'd love to bring some of them suckers home.
They're a pound and a half.
Man, I tell you what, I found that lake earlier this year that's full of those ones that are about, 6 to 8 inches long bullheads. You go out there and catch them all you want. Man, that's a bait.
Oh man, I'd love to find a place like that around here.
Yeah, I mean, for us to get them, like we said, we used to be able to catch them a few spots in our creeks, but they were the little, 3-4 inch, wasn't no size to them at all. And it's the same thing if you go to a bait store around here. They're typically somewhat smaller. You can get a 6-7 incher around here in the bait stops, but that's about it.
You can buy bullheads in your area.
Yes, if they have them in stock, yeah.
What?
My bait shop carries them.
Mark said his PB bullhead came out of Mendota. So
mine too.
I bet.
I think that one that I caught up there was, I don't know. I want someone else.
Mine might have come out of there too. Yeah. I never did actually think about a PB bullhead, but I can't think of one that I caught anywhere else bigger.
I actually quit using those. I've gone out so many times and used bullheads, and I have never caught a flathead off of them. I'll throw out a bluegill or a carp right in the same area with the bullheads, and they'll get hit. I'll throw out a cut carp, and they'll get hit. But the bullheads, I can go out with nothing but bullheads, and I'll still not get one.
Oh, wow.
Are you familiar with Luke Hinges?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with Luke Hinges?
No.
Now, Luke lives up in Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah. He fishes a lot at night with bullhead and catches a lot of really great flatheads up there.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope he's not watching. He would have heard me say something good.
But he used to do a lot of live stuff at night. And, of course, now he's not going to be doing any for a while. He's kind of like you. His fishing's probably, for the most part, over for this year unless he travels. But, man, I watched him. Yeah, he'll probably do some ice fishing.
Yeah.
But, which I'm not doing that either. But I've seen him catch some giant flatheads on live bullheads. And he's got some ponds up there by him that are plumb full of them things, because he'd go out and and catch all he wants in an hour or two and have all the bait that he needs, you know.
Yeah, I know some pretty good spots that you can get some real good bullheads, 1 to 2 pound bullheads. And,
Oh, they were great.
you know, I've thrown out some of them, and, you know, I've just never had any luck with them. I got buddies that they catch flatheads all the time with the bullheads, and I've never had luck.
I'll be darned. That's strange. It may just be the night or the place, or they just don't want them. There's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes why things don't work. But
I've actually fished right next to a buddy, and he had nothing but bullheads, and he caught 2 flatheads off the bullheads. Well, I caught 1 flathead off of bluegill, but I would throw out the bullheads, and I wouldn't have caught anything.
wow.
It's
I'm thinking if we get the chance to try it next year, because I'm guessing the flatheads are probably pretty much done in my area for this year, that I'm going to go to some of the subdivisions and places that have ponds on them and get permission to fish in Springfield. There's one by a doctor's office that we go to all the time. Nobody ever fishes. It's got geese all over it, so you know there's bullheads in it. And go in there and try to catch some while Cindy's in the doctor's office or something. And try them again because they just work. Luke caught 100+ pound blue right beside. We fished for a couple of years. It was a giant. Yeah, he caught a big one over there.
Yeah. Luke's channel is Rods and Reloads.
Yeah,
now.
Rods and Reloads for Luke.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a hoot. He's the original son, you know.
Shut up. We don't talk about that.
We voted him off the island.
Yep. I'm gonna drop Chris's channel link again for
Absolutely.
Fatties.
If you haven't checked Chris's YouTube channel out, please go and do so.
Absolutely.
Give him a subscription. He's got some great videos on there, some wonderful content, all caught on a kayak. As far as I know, all on the Missouri River, and he does a bang-up job with them. That's how I come to find out about him, and left a few comments on there and shared some stuff with these guys, and I think everybody in our group has subscribed to him. And have you got any more videos coming out this year?
I'm still trying to put out a video every week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still getting out. It's just not getting out on the Missouri River in the kayak. I'll still be getting out some of the small rivers and stuff, and some of the lakes.
Yeah, good, because we all want to see some content from you. Dave,
I don't know, next year though, that bullhead thing, that might turn into a good video next year. I might have to try that. Go out every single time with bullheads and little my own personal challenge video.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be careful. That's how you end up with a bunch of video with no fish in it. Don't ask me how I know that.
Oh man, the chili's not working out too well.
Do what?
My chili's not working out so well. I'm getting
Lord.
heartburn.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, Chris, anything you want to close out with, sir, about anything you got going on or whatever? Now's the time. We're gonna get ready to call it for the week. But go ahead, buddy. Anything you got to say? Now's your chance.
I just wanted to give a big shout out to my wife. She's my biggest supporter, and without her, I wouldn't be achieving any of this. She takes me, she drops me off at places, she picks me up, she supports everything I'm doing, and I just wanted to give the biggest shout out to my wife.
Very good.
Back.
That's awesome.
God bless your wife.
Absolutely. I do have one more
And
question for this. I know that you have children. Can you tell us the age of them?
Yeah, I got Abraham and Alexander. They go out fishing with me all the time. 9 and 13.
Very nice. Very nice.
Abraham, he loves doing it. He loved getting up and closing out one of the videos. That was all him.
There you go.
That's always fun. That is always fun.
Yep. That's something to look forward to. You have kayak and buddies to go with you.
I actually started the channel for them, so.
We had the same
Looking
idea.
forward to seeing that.
I knew that as soon as Lyle asked about, and he started talking about his wife, Dave would be like, "Does your wife like to fish?"
My wife doesn't fish.
Because she's
my biggest cheerleader, but she doesn't like to fish as much. She'll go out and catch the little sunnies and everything with me, but
Dee is going to start trying to push you into getting her to go fishing and joining in next year's
tournament.
couples
Couples
catfish
tournament.
showdown.
Yeah.
that would be a good time.
I love my wife too.
You should.
One more question here. I see that how many rods do you normally fish with?
Normally I fish with 2 when I'm in the kayak. Yeah. From the bank, I'll fish with like 4. It just depends on what state. You got to follow state laws.
Yeah.
Nebraska, you can use more on the river. Iowa, I got a 3rd license, rod license, so I was able to fish with 3 on Iowa. But it depends on the state. Follow the laws.
Yep. All right. Well, Lyle, Josh, you guys got anything? Josh, do you have a video?
We
for
got
us?
an awesome bragging board this week, so
Let's see it.
let's take a look at that. And we've talked about some of the fish that are going to be showing up on it. So,
All right.
I'll get that pulled up here, and here we go. Howdy, folks. It's time once again to take a look at the Catfish Weekly Bragging Board. This one covers through the week of November the 27th, 2023, and I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving weekend. Leading us off this week, we have our buddy James of James Dockery Fishing. James caught a couple of slab crappie, one of many crappie he's been catching here lately, and wanted to make sure that Lyle knew there was no snow in that picture. Up next, we have Nina of Nina's Kayak Crew. Nina caught her very first sturgeon and came up with a new personal best flathead catfish weighing in at 10.56 pounds. Congratulations, Nina. Great job. Brian from Big Wrench Catfishing hung out with Creole this weekend and came up with a 49-pound blue catfish. Congratulations, Brian. That's an awesome fish, my friend. Next up, we have Shirley T. Shirley come up with a very nice striper and a 50-pound Lake Marion blue cat. Congratulations, Shirley. That is an awesome fish. Our buddy Jeremy of Creole Catfishing, like I said, he was out there this weekend fishing with Big Wrench and come up with a 41-pound blue on his own. Congratulations, Jeremy. Great job. Mr. Stand 3 is always getting it done out on the James River. This week is no exception. Stand 3 came up with a 43-pound James River blue cat. Congratulations, buddy. Great fish. Next up, we have Jerry of Parker Pursuits. Jerry came up with a 67-pound and a 40-pound blue this week. Jerry has been on fire here lately, bank or boat. Either way, doesn't matter. Congratulations, Jerry. Mike of Fishing with Big Mike sent a photo in of him and Jeremiah. They've got him a pair of 20-pound blue cats, and Jeremiah come up with a 33-pound blue cat. Great job. Great fish. And closing us out this week, Mike of Greenwell Fishing with a new 80-pound PB blue cat. Welcome to the 80-pound club, Mikey. Get a hold of Lyle. See about getting one of those Catfish Weekly 80-pound club stickers. You earned it, my friend. Don't Don't forget, guys, you too can be featured on the Catfish Weekly bragging board. To be eligible, the fish needs to have been caught within the past 14 days, and we accept pictures of any species of fish. Don't forget, it's still deer season in many parts of the country, so send in those deer photos as well. To get yourself or a friend on the bragging board, all you need to do is email your fish photo to pics@theweekendangler.com. Send us the information shown on your screen, and we'll get it on the board for you. Thank you all for watching. Have a great week. Some awesome fish.
A lot of submissions this time. I like it.
Real nice ones.
Really good. It's great fish, and I would Mike Greenwell's white 80-pound club sticker is in the mailbox.
I figured it probably was, but in the event that Mikey hadn't gotten with you on that, I wanted to,
Oh no, he did, and
put a little foot in his rear end for him, and
we had a little issue for some reason, and neither one of us knows why wasn't hooked up on Facebook any longer. But we are back to being hooked up now. So, with that being said, for those of you that need stickers, the first one is free. You can contact me by messaging me on Facebook or email me at catfishweeklytv@gmail.com. If you'll post your picture of your fish on the Catfish Weekly group page and tell me what size fish it is and all the specifics, we will get you a decal out to you. Now, like I say, the first one is free. After that, they're $5, but I've yet to charge anybody for it. So there's that.
I just got to throw out a theory before we go. As much as you ought to be paying me millions of dollars a year, but I have a theory on why you and Mike, for some reason, you were no longer hooked up on Facebook.
Yeah, deleted me, didn't he?
No, I figured you probably was sitting here one night getting ready to start a show and was sleeping and fell over and hit your keyboard.
Yeah, and unfriended Mikey.
And unfriended Mikey. One of the many times that
Why would you think I would fall asleep?
Do I need to bring up pictures right now?
No.
In that case,
calendar for next year.
We do, don't we? Chris, man, you've been a wonderful guest. We appreciate you coming and joining us. I hope everybody will go check out Rigging4Fatties. Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are we're going to call you the big kahunas. Because anybody willing to take a kayak out on the Missouri River, dude, and do what you're doing, you got a lot of respect from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
don't forget
thanks, guys.
To Panfish Nation Wednesday night, and what's the name of that show you do on Thursdays?
Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. God's time. Over on Fields to Water, we have the bait shop. That's
Brian's show. I like that show.
I hate you all. And make sure you go over and sub to the Weekend Angler, where he's got a short tip Saturday every Saturday.
And last week was no exception. It was a great video.
It was really, really good.
That LED nav light, I turned that thing on when it got dark. Man, that thing's bright.
I was impressed with the piece of 2x4 you hooked that up to. That's pretty cool.
I gotta go.
Was that what was on the boat?
That's what was on the boat.
Yeah, you have to get it up somehow, so it's over top of the edge of the rail. But yeah, great video, and using those crimp connectors that you heat up and has the heat shrink made on them. I think that is a winner.
Those are definitely the way to go, and you can pick those up cheap. A package of 10 of those is like $1.99 at Harbor Freight. So. Oh
wow, yeah. I know you and Keith both love Harbor Freight, and I just don't try not to go in there. It costs me money when I go.
I was in there this morning. John and I went in there. We spent about an hour in there. So.
Thanks everybody for watching. We had a great show tonight. Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
Thank you.
If
I had a good time.
You're going to have to come back and join us again. We'll have to get you back on.
Thanks. I look forward to it.
If you guys haven't hit the like button, please do so on your way out. We'll see you next week right here on Catfish Week.
Have a great week, y'all.
Take care.